Grant, right folks, here we go. Let's get to it. Anything you guys want to talk about now, let me know. I'm just going to alter my screen here a little bit so I'm good to go. Sit up. Even though I'm a United fan, I enjoy your videos. Thank you so much, mate. Look, we've had a load of United fans who've been very kind towards me. And look, the banter's been fun in the build-up to this game. It hasn't been as toxic as I was expecting, because, you know, when we had a derby against Everton, I'm not going to lie, they didn't like me very much, and they weren't shy about saying it. But United fans have been pretty good. I've enjoyed the banter with them. You and Goldbridge should watch the match together. Someday I'd absolutely love to watch it with Mark, mate, but it would be one of those things I'd love to do if we were sitting in a room together, if you get me. Like, it wouldn't really work over Tinternet, but yeah, definitely someday. Matip's like a pack of digestive bickies. I can't disagree with you, mate, but look, let's just hope that tomorrow those digestive biscuits hold up, or Saturdays, no, Sunday, there you go. My mind is gone today. Yeah, let's just hope Sunday that he does hold up. And look, he has trained. Naby Keita hasn't trained, so we can say with some certainty that Naby Keita won't be starting this one. Who's scoring on Sunday? I feel Mo's going to do it. I feel it has Mo's name written all over it. I mean, I've been a little bit critical of Mohamed Salah over the past few weeks. Probably because he sets such high standards that it's been really hard to I suppose maintain those. And if you take into account the fact that Salah hasn't had much of a rest over the past few seasons, I'm probably have been a bit difficult, a bit harsh towards him. But I think Mo will score one in this game. But look, it's so hard to predict, because what Liverpool show up, what United show up, it is difficult. What else we got? I just hope Matip stays fit. So do I, mate. And I hope that he starts. I really do. Like, if he doesn't start, to me, Reece Williams would be the one I'd like to see alongside Joel Matip. But at the end of the day, we'll have to wait till Sunday and see what the gaffer does. How come the late night stream? I did a stream earlier on, Ash, and my laptop completely just crashed, mate, and is not working anymore. So this stream is just, we're trying out a different computer. That Connor had an old PC from a couple of years ago that he had lying around, and he dropped it up to me a few months back, but it's just been sitting around gathering dust. So we said we'll give it a bash. We'll try the old PC, see if it works for the stream, and it'll do us in the meantime until I can save up and maybe get another computer, because my MacBook Pro completely died. What have we got? Mane, Firmino, Salah masterclass, said H or H Junior. I'm alright, my nan's got bunions, man. I'm alright. I've had better days, I've had worse days. Would I start Jones in midfield? No, I put up the preview video earlier on, and I went for a 4-2-3-1 with, you know, the four at the back, as obviously as you'd expect: Trent, Robbo, Matip, Fabinho. Then I went for two holding midfielders, so I went Thiago and Hendo, and then I went to three: Shaqiri on the right, Bobby Firmino was an attacking mid, Mane on the left, and I'd like to see Salah as a lone striker through the centre. That's what I'd like to try. Score prediction was 2-0. Shillow's 2-0. But look, it is just that. It's a score prediction. It's very difficult for me to sit here and, you know, predict a non-Liverpool win, because I think Liverpool will win and hope that they'll win. But my big fear is that United score the first goal in the game, if I'm being honest. If United score first, then it really is pressure on for us. I mean, United can then just sit back, play on the counter with that phenomenal pace that they have on the counter, and hopefully it doesn't happen. I really just don't want United to score the first goal. I cannot say that enough. I do not want United to score the first goal in this game. I think the first goal is huge. Hello again, Mark. How are you? Craig, you look nice. Lovely polo, style icon. Far from a style icon. An upper level chav. That's what I'll take, mate. We'll go upper level chav. That'll do. Should Trent move to midfield at some point? You know what, mate? A lot of people have said that, and there's no denying that Trent Alexander-Arnold can play midfield, started his career in midfield, but it's going to take one hell of a right back to shift them. That's what I will say. Like, it's going to take one hell of a player to come in and shift Trent. So, no, for me, I'd like to see him left there. What a chair. Thank you, mate. It's a real chair as well. It comes from a lovely company called Serendipity Furniture. What have we got? Farah 9 said, let's just hope both teams make a good game of it and it doesn't end up being a stalemate. Yeah, that's the worst case scenario here, isn't it? That we end up with some horrendous, boring ass draw, like, and that none of us want to see. Yeah, I mean, for the world of football, all eyes are going to be on the Premier League on Sunday. All eyes are going to be on Anfield, and, you know, this is a game that I think am I being wrong in saying the world wants to see a Liverpool United title race? I think in the situation we're currently in the world right now, it will give us all a little boost. I mean, obviously if you're on the wrong end of that title race come May, it will hurt like hell, but if you're on the right end of it, I think the joy will be unparalleled. I really do. Do I like the Red Men TV? Yes, of course. They make great content. A lot of great Liverpool fan channels. The Anfield Wrap, amazing content. Red Men, great content. And yeah, they've been around a long time putting out some great stuff. When's Bruno getting his penalty? I honestly don't know, mate. And I hope he doesn't. I hope we're not talking about the officials after the game. I hope that whatever happens, we're talking about one team's brilliance or one player's moment of magic rather than VAR or the referee, or, you know, that's, I think it'd be easier for everyone to accept. Nobody wants us to be sitting here at 6:30 on Sunday and arguing over a VAR decision or a penalty incident or a red card. Just let it be won on the pitch by the class of the players from either side. I think that's what we all hope for anyway. Obviously, I'm sitting here praying for Liverpool win. United fans out there praying for United win. I don't know what City fans would be praying for. Maybe a draw. I don't know what works best for them in this one, but it's definitely a must not lose game for the Reds anyway. If United win, is the title over? No, I wouldn't say that. And look, I wouldn't say that for a number of reasons, mate. Firstly, because you've still got Manchester City to think about. So Manchester City will be in that title race. And look, 6 points behind United if we lose on Sunday, which of course I hope that we don't. No, I wouldn't say it's over, particularly because we're not even halfway through the season. I mean, just let that settle in for a sec. We're not halfway through the season. I had to kind of pull myself up on that earlier on. The fact that we aren't even halfway through the season. Get your excuses in now about refs. Colin, you won't be hearing excuses from me. That's not the type of person I am, mate. If United beat us on Sunday, I will be the first one on here to say well done. I don't hide, mate. That's not my character at all. And I've no excuses about refs. I'm just hoping, as I said, that that's not the conversation we're having. I'm hoping that we're all here on Sunday. If Liverpool win, I'm hoping we're talking about a great performance. And heaven forbid United should win. I hope we're talking about the same. I mean, I don't want to be sitting here talking about referees. Nobody does. We want to be talking about the players, mate, in the beautiful game. What are City fans? It's a fair point. It's a fair point, mate. Goldberg said he wants Bruno to get a penalty in the last minute. Yeah, of course. I mean, I'd want something similar. I mean, a nice salty goal, bounce off the crossbar, off De Gea's head and into the back of the net would be lovely for us in the 97th minute as well. But I just hope it's not a stalemate. I mean, I've built up too many of these games like Liverpool and Manchester City where we're expecting this absolute free-flowing masterclass of football from both sides that come to attack, and you talk about Guardiola and the player at his disposal, and then you talk about Liverpool, and then it ends up being a big game of chess, 0-0. And look, that's okay if you're the away side. So if United left Anfield with a point, whatever type of point, on Sunday, you know, they won't be too fussed about that. And why would they? They'd still have a 3-point buffer from us at the top of the league, and yes, they'd have City to contend with, but that's another day's conversation whatsoever. From our point of view, we can't lose. We can't lose on Sunday. It's not over if we do, but it makes it an awful lot more difficult. And look, I'm stating the obvious, but yeah, I'm getting more and more nervous as the hours go by towards the game, put it that way. Love from India, thank you, buddy. Love right back to you. Colin said, pal, the form goes out the window with these games. Yeah, you're right. You're spot on, Colin. It does. And we've seen it years before when United and Arsenal were winning Premier League title after Premier League title. When United came up against Liverpool, as you rightly said, pal, it all goes out the window. And you can have these mad moments like where Gerrard came on against Everton, wasn't it? Or whoever. Which one was it? Was it Everton? Gerrard came on, sent off straight away. And them moments can happen as well. So you're right, form does go out the window, but you know, quite now the way Liverpool are playing, I wouldn't mind our form going out the window, mate, to be honest with you, because we need to find something different. Our home form has been good. 50 or 67 games unbeaten in the Premier League is a nice record, but our away form this season just hasn't been good enough. And United's, funnily enough, went the other way. They started the season, couldn't win a game at Old Trafford, and have been great on the road. So yeah, it's madness. If you could sign one player back, who would it be? Is this somebody who's still playing the game though, mate? Because, you know, obviously I'd want Stevie G in his prime, but there's nobody. Sterling, actually, probably Sterling, just for the talent. Still at the height of his career. Yeah, probably Sterling, if there's someone that's still playing. Now, I know I don't like the way he left, don't get me wrong, but I can't deny he's a talented footballer. Maguire was good along when he plays side by. Stop hating on him. Again, have I even mentioned Harry Maguire since I've been on this stream, mate? I don't think I have, but I don't hate on him. He's not my player. I couldn't give a shite about Harry Maguire, to be honest with you, mate. But I do agree with you. The better partner is Eric Bailly. And I'm expecting Shaw to start at left back and obviously Aaron Wan-Bissaka at right back. The big question for me, and this is what I'd love to put to the United fans that are in the chat, do we see Ole Gunnar Solskjaer maybe go with Matip and Pogba, or will he go to his tried and tested McTominay and Fred? And speaking to Mark about it, he thinks they'll go with McTominay and Fred. I mean, we've seen Pogba and Matip start against Burnley, so that may suggest Mark's right, and that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will revert back to McTominay and Fred, which, you know, would give a lot of industry in that United midfield, but it would also, I think, put a lot of pressure and onus on Bruno. And another thing I'd like to ask United fans is, what's the story with Martial right now? Is he going to make the game? Because I heard that he had a knock. And let's say he does go with McTominay and Fred, then who do you play in that front three? Because you're going to have obviously Bruno in either a false nine or attacking midfield position, Rashford either side, left or right. So would it be Martial? Would he push Pogba in the attacking midfield position, maybe play Bruno in a false nine? There are a lot of options, a lot of what ifs, and the same on our side. But a few people saying they think Milner should start at right back. Nah, not for this game, man. His pace, he's just no pace. I couldn't. No, not against Martial or Rashford. I think we have to go with Trent. I think Trent, he'll be up for it. It's a massive game. Will Neco ever get to the level of Trent? I couldn't possibly answer that, mate. Honestly, I can't read the future. It doesn't. I think they're not the same type of player. I think almost the system is trying to force Nico into being a similar type of player to Trent, but I don't think they have the same attributes. I think Nico will become a more old school right back rather than like a right winger, which Trent almost is. Love from South Africa. How are you, mate? Love right back to you. Again, this is just us trying a new computer just to see if it works on the stream. So hence the late night stream. United will finish the season 5th, said Thiago F4. If I could sign one player back, who would it be? I've done that one. What else we got? Love from South Africa. Love right back to you. He took out, I don't know what that means. I'm lost. We still going? Stream still good? Because my chat seems to have completely frozen. So let me just refresh the chat and see if that works. Yeah, because my chat right now seems to have frozen a little bit, but that isn't unusual with this stuff, to be honest. So let's see if that works again. Yeah, there we go. Chat, that's after updating. Love from Wexford. Oh, and I'm only down the road, buddy, probably. Love right back to you, pal. Okay, excuse me here, folks. I'm just trying a few little bits and pieces to get used to this computer. My nan's got Bunny and said, will Nico ever get to the level of Trent? Thank you for the super chat, by the way, mate. As I was saying earlier on, it's tough to say because Trent took a while. Like, if you remember the conversation when Trent was breaking through, we were saying, can he ever push Klein out? Like, that was probably the conversation. Can he get to the level of Nathaniel Klein? And not only has Trent gotten to Nathaniel Klein's level, he's brought the whole right back position to a new place. I mean, the assists that him and Robbo got last season were just beyond ridiculous. So it's a lot of pressure to put on Nico's young shoulders, but, you know, we'll have to wait and see how he develops. But he's a very good player. Riley said, I'm a United fan. I think McTominay and Fred are nailed on to start. If I was to guess, mate, I think you're spot on. That's what I'd be going with as well. Now the chat's starting to flow and move quickly. There we go. What's happening? This is a test stream, TTV Club, mate. We're my old computer, my MacBook Pro died. So again, just to reiterate, Connor left a computer up at my house ages ago as a backup just in case, and we had to set it up. So that's what we've been doing in between the time of the last stream that shit to bed to this stream. We were just testing out a new computer to see if, I say new computer, it's an old Lenovo PC, but thankfully it's doing the job and working rather nicely. What's happening with Matip? Gavin, the good news is, buddy, he has trained. So that much we know. Whether he starts on Sunday or not, you know, that's up to Klopp, but he has trained, so fingers crossed is what I'd say, mate. Cater's ruled out. He's definitely out of the game, but there's a possibility that Matip starts it. So hopefully he'll get a bit more training tomorrow, and then big decision for Klopp on Sunday. What's your top four? I think it'll be, again, I'm not sure about the order because, you know, it's really tight there, but I think you've got to say Liverpool, United, City, Spurs in some order in the top four. I see Chelsea maybe taking a Europa League spot, although it's not out of the realms of possibility that they could, you know, gel a little bit better, go on and get themselves a spot into the Champions League. the 5th and 6th places are the ones that really confuse me, because you've got Everton, you've got Leicester, you've got obviously Chelsea, who we were just speaking about, you've got an outsider like maybe Southampton, so they're the places that I think are really interesting this season. That's weird. My chat again has just done the same thing, so I'm going to have to open and close the chat again and then get some new comments up. Right, here we go. I think the chat doesn't like me scrolling back through it. I think that's the problem. Again, I'm just glad to be back on here streaming, folks. Hand on heart, earlier on I thought that was the end of Anfield Agenda. I thought I was going to have to pack it up. I'm just waiting for this chat to catch back up, lads. Sorry. It's mad. Just watching the chat load back up. Big Shaq and Thiago chemistry, both back at Bayern together. Do you know what, mate? That's a great shout. I never even thought about that. Now, Shaqiri, I said this earlier on, but again, the stream had to die because my laptop, this thing beside me, which, I so want to get a hammer and smash it. I seen that at the same wavelength that they were on when they came on against Aston Villa. I saw something in the two of them. That is why I went for Shaqiri in my starting 11, because I seen something. So just a little Shaqiri drop between the lines and Thiago being able to spot him. I think that if he can do the same against United, although it's a lot bigger ask, you know, that was a very young and experienced Aston Villa side, so if he can do the same against United, then happy days, and I hope he does get a chance. Everything's working now. Captain tells the same with my chat. Good, so that's not just me then. Happy days. We need Daya Upamecano. Jake, it's not going to happen, mate. There was talk. Upamecano, as far as I'm aware, will probably end up at Bayern Munich as a replacement for the outgoing David Alaba. With regards to Canade, there was somebody saying earlier on that the guy, Christian Falk, was saying that Liverpool are interested in Canade, and again, I still haven't had a chance to read up on that one. Jota, for those asking, probably another couple of weeks, I'd say, before we see Diogo Jota. Craig, what's your starting 11? Alisson, Trent, Fabinho, Matip, Robertson, Henderson and Thiago in a 2, then 3 ahead of them. I'd have Shaqiri on the right, Bobby as an attacking midfielder, Mane on the left, and then Salah as a lone striker. That's the way I'd like to see us set up for this game. Do I like Balotelli? I've no feelings for or against Mario Balotelli, to be honest with you, mate. Thoughts on Eric Bailly? He looks very good lately. He has impressed me. I mean, somebody mentioned in the chat earlier on saying that Maguire looks good when Bailly's beside him. Stop hating on Maguire. And I wasn't hating on Maguire. I was more talking about Bailly. I mean, to me, Bailly ahead of Lindelof should be a no-brainer if you're a United fan right now. And I think you probably agree with me on that one. Do a combined 11. Do you know what? I actually had one done out. I had one done out just in case Mark wanted to do one in the preview video we did together yesterday. But we just decided against doing one. But yeah, I do have one done out, so bear with me and I'll try and find my combined 11, because I definitely did one out. So let me just see if I can find it on my phone. I could probably have a bash off the top of my head, but I want to be fair about it, so let me have a look. Okay, so it's not just my chat that was acting up. Connor even messaged me to say his was. Right, bear with me 2 seconds. I'm flying up here through all that chat with Connor to try and find that combined 11 that I did, because I think it was quite a fair one as well. That's why I more really want to get it out there. Right, it's amazing how many. Oh, there we go. Right, so combined 11. This is now, again, please feel free to tell me I'm full of shit or agree, but I'm doing this, by the way, off who's fit now. So this combined 11 won't include Van Dijk as an example because he's not available. So I'm doing it off players who are available right now. So Alisson in goal for me. On form right now, hand on heart, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, a right back. I'm not saying he's better than Trent. I'm going off form right now. So Aaron Wan-Bissaka, right back. Fabinho and Bailly for me as the 2 centre backs, with Robbo at left back. Midfield, I'd go Thiago, Hendo and Bruno. And then up front, I'd go Salah, Martial if he's in form, and Mane. That would be my combined 11. So what have I got in there? 1, 2, 3, 4 United players. And honestly, tried to be as fair as I could on that. And any United fans out there, love to know what you guys think, what your suggestions would be. So Alisson, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Fabinho, Bailly, Robbo, Thiago, Hendo, Bruno, and then Salah, Martial, Mane. That's my combined 11. And I hate doing them, by the way. So I'm only doing them as an apology, really, for the mess up earlier on. And no, Joe isn't back yet, mate, no. It is horrible doing them because you're always going to just start an argument doing these combined 11s because rightly one side or another will feel aggrieved, and I understand it. If you're a United fan, you're thinking nah mate, this and this, but genuinely I looked at that and tried to be as fair as I could. Craig, if you need a star man around for a long shot, you can give the best kicker Shawnee O'Shea. My wife in the chat, look at this. She said, Craig, if you smash the MacBook with a hammer, you'll find that hammer will be in my hand, heading for him a few seconds later. I feel like it's the only satisfaction I'm going to get is by killing the MacBook. I feel like I need to have that ending for closure on the whole scenario. Pogba. Again, yeah, look, the Pogba one is one I struggled over because, again, I'm talking about form, and is Paul Pogba in form right now? I would argue no. He's capable of moments of brilliance. I absolutely would agree with that. I'm not saying Paul Pogba's not a great player, but I just thought, imagine the work rate of a Thiago, Bruno, Hendo midfield. I honestly thought that was I was pretty proud of that tree actually as a midfield option when I came up with that combined 11. In form, Wan-Bissaka, said LFC Fan 96, all around Trent. Yeah, I'm genuinely trying to be honest and doing this with players who are in form right now. You're muting Pratt. Is that even a fucking sentence, mate? I don't even know what that means. You're muting Pratt. If it's you're probably trying to go with you are, mate. But look, we'll let it go. Yeah, no problem. Talk to you soon, mate. You're saying you have to go. Appreciate you popping in. I think De Gea is more informed than Alisson. Look, I've always said I really, really rate David De Gea as a goalkeeper. Always. Go right back to when he was carrying United almost on his shoulders. The reason that I think Alisson is better is you can make arguments for both of them being great shot stoppers because they are. I just think Alisson's a little bit more commanding, and I think that he's got better distribution than David De Gea. But again, to reiterate, I do rate David De Gea as a keeper very highly. What else have we got? Wan-Bissaka hasn't been that good as well, and I'm a United fan. Yeah, but we're running out right backs then, mate, to be fair, between us, because, you know, Trent, as brilliant as he is, as much as we love him, hasn't been the Trent of himself recently. So again, I was just talking about form when I was trying to do that, and see why I don't do them now. You can see we're already having this little back and forth about a Pogba here or a De Gea there, and they're all understandable. I mean, I can absolutely understand why you would have your own views on it, and that's, I suppose, what makes football the sport that it is. We all have our own different opinions on it, but look, if we can be respectful about those different opinions, I suppose that's the best thing. What else is there? The closer the game gets, the more nervous, excited and confident I get as a United fan. How do you feel? The closer the game gets, the more nervous I get. I'll definitely give you that one, pal, yeah. Do I get more confident? I think I feel a little bit more confident when I see the starting 11 if John Matip is in it. The first 15 minutes for me will tell a lot about Liverpool in this game. We need to get out of the blocks quickly, and we can't let United start fast. The last thing on earth we need to do is concede early against United, so I'm hoping that we come out of the blocks fast. But this sounds weird, right? But it's almost nice that this is happening. I mean, we had a title race with City, we lost out on it, then we had a title race with City and we won it by a country mile, but it never felt like there was any emotion involved in the race. You felt an emotion because you wanted Liverpool to win the league as a Liverpool fan, but there was nothing there. A rival with United, it's just so much better. I think it's so much better for the league. I think it's so much better for us as fans who, you know, hate each other's clubs but in a respectful way. I think this is it. I keep saying it, but I think this is what the league needs. The league needs Liverpool and United, the two most decorated clubs in English football history, going head to head for the title. Again, though, we're not even halfway through the league, so it could be premature from our side, which I don't think it is, because let's be frank about it, Liverpool haven't been themselves this season, and yet we're still right up there. So from our point of view, I don't think things can get much worse, touch wood. But it can get better, and I'm hoping Thiago unlocks a different dimension to our attack. Yes, 20 times United, mate. We get it. Absolutely. No problem with that whatsoever. You haven't spammed it, mate, so that's sound. Glory, Man United, he says as well. No problem. I mean, all fans are welcome in here, buddy. All that we ask is that you're respectful of other users and I've no problem with a bit of banter back and forth, pal. It's all good. Do you think a loss at Anfield will have a big effect on your team's mentality, especially because confidence is already low and never losing at home definitely helps the confidence of your players? I don't want to go to the point where we have lost yet, but if that did happen, mate, no, I don't think it would affect them mentally, because if there's one thing that this group of Liverpool players have delivered, it is on their mentality, on their strength of character. So I don't think any of us Liverpool fans really have the right to question the mentality of this team when they've come back from the loss in the Champions League final to go and win the Champions League, when they've come back from a heartbreaking loss to Manchester City by 1 point in the Premier League to go and win the Premier League. So I don't think it's right as Liverpool fans that we ever question the team's mentality. Would it have an effect on the rest of the season? Probably not. No more so than any other loss would have an effect. What do I think the score will be? I went for a 2-0 Liverpool win, Peter, my prediction, mate. But again, it's so hard to judge. It depends on how they both set up. It depends on how we start the game. It depends on so many factors. But I think Liverpool will win. Obviously, others will think United will win, but that's what this is for, isn't it? That's what this chat here is all about. From a Man United fan and Irish fan, we all respect you. Thank you, pal. That means a lot. Really does. What is your best Liverpool versus United moment? I really enjoyed that mad 3-3 draw all those years ago, like ages ago. That was a mad game. I'll tell you what one hurt me the most. Eric Cantona coming back in that FA Cup final. That in 96, I think it was. That hurt. That goal, I still don't understand how he got the ball through so many players. I'll never be able to be at ease with that one. The win at Old Trafford where Gerrard kissed the camera and Torres was there in the grey shirt, that stands out as a great moment as well. The Europa League, Felipe Coutinho's goal was a special goal in the Europa League against United as well, actually, when I think back to that in more recent terms. Craig, are you moving to England? Possibly. Gonna see how this year goes with regards to content and stuff like that, and if it goes well, then yeah, maybe at the end of the year I'll look at moving over to England and setting up permanently over there. But I just want to make sure it's the right decision for the family and the right decision for any potential job down the line. Thank you, Adar, really appreciate it. Look, I've always said, and a lot of United fans in the chat maybe for the first time, I've always said I don't know why people tune in to hear what I have to say. I've never understood. I don't get the appeal of me, but what I will always say is I'm eternally grateful, and I know Connor is as well, for people that do tune in and watch what we have to say. It means a lot to us, but I don't get the appeal of me. I've never been able to get it, but I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Salah or Fernandes, it's an impossible question, Mohammed, with all due respect, buddy, because, you know, they're two completely different types of players. They're both brilliant in their own different ways. Which formations wouldn't work for Liverpool? A 4-4-2 I don't think would work for us at all. A 4-2-3-1, a 4-2-1-3, either of those I like. The 4-3-3, of course, can be broken up into similar. The Koi hat-trick was great as well. You're a lovely lad. Thank you, Peter. It means a lot, mate. I'm just me. I'm just a genuine fella. What you see is what you get with me. Would you sell Salah to get Mbappe, Sancho or Haaland this summer? Ooh, that's... I think I've been asked that question quite a lot. What I will say is all players get to a point where there's that big decision. So let's look at Gini Wijnaldum right now. He's got a contract offer in front of him, and he knows that this is probably the last big contract he'll sign as professional football. I'm not saying it's the last deal he'll sign, but he's probably in the best position to command a good wage. So with all players, there comes a point where the manager looks at them, and Sir Alex Ferguson was one of the best at doing this, at judging when a player's just at that tipping point before, and maybe they're on the slow decline in some cases, but the decline nonetheless. And I wonder if that's when we'll see one of our front three sold, whether it's Mohamed Salah, when Klopp looks around and thinks that either the player has had his head turned or that they're at that tipping point. And I can't say when that tipping point will be, but I do trust the manager's judgment on it. And it will hurt whenever the day comes, because Mohamed Salah, Mane, Firmino, whoever it might be, they've all contributed massively to the history of this football club and will go down in folklore for what they've achieved, and rightly so. But yeah, there will come a day where Salah will leave, like everybody else. There's been this trend in the past few years of people supporting a player and then whatever club the player is at. So like there's no doubt Mohamed Salah has an amazing worldwide fan base, a lot of Egyptian love for Salah as well, and rightly so. He's a fantastic representative of the country, and he's a wonderful fella, but most people support a club. So we support Liverpool, and employees are almost, or players are almost transient employees who come and go. You love them when they're here, they move on, you find your next love, and blah blah blah. So yeah, I don't like that whole new thing about somebody supporting a player and then you can't be critical of the player or everybody piles in on you. We support the club. You support United, I support Liverpool, somebody supports Arsenal, whoever it might be, and I think that's why we can accept the player moving on at times, as much as it does hurt. You're attractive, that's why we watch it. That's definitely not true, but thank you. Hi Craig, do you think Curtis will get a game in Sunday? It'd be a big call. It'd be a massive show of trust from the manager, and it would be a huge call to start Curtis Jones, particularly maybe ahead of Gini Wijnaldum if he does. But again, we don't know what's happening in training, we don't know who's shown what, and I've no doubt in Curtis Jones' abilities, and this season has been a very good breakthrough season for Curtis Jones into the first team. Jack said Man U are better. I guess, mate, we'll find out in May, won't we, when the season's over, one way or the other. Rashford or Mane? I do rate Marcus Rashford, mate, immensely, Brandon, but Mane for me is, I think he's just, there's very few people that can do what Sadio Mane can do, so I would take Mane in that instance because I absolutely love him. Bruno better than Thiago? Again, it's almost an impossible comparison, Tony, because Thiago's been a bit deeper for us, and again, we've barely gotten a chance to see him. But there's no denying, as I said before, the impact that Bruno Fernandes has had on that Manchester United team has been incredible. When I was watching the Burnley game in particular the other day, what I did take from the game was I seen something that I used to see in Liverpool teams before when Felipe Coutinho was there, and that was, when in doubt, give the ball to Bruno or give the ball to Pogba. And it reminded me of the times when Coutinho was here, and he was almost a get out of jail card for the players. Some of them weren't taking responsibility, they were looking for Felipe Coutinho at the time. And I think in United's case, I think this is fair to say, sometimes the players aren't willing to take on that responsibility, and they're looking for Bruno Fernandes or Paul Pogba to be the one that unlocks the door. And that's where I think the United squad will eventually bring itself up to the level where everyone will be Bruno Fernandes. I think Liverpool have managed to do that very well. So when Coutinho left, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, who of course is injured now but is coming back from injury, I should say, he stepped up massively, and until he did his cruciate ligament in the game against Roma, he was phenomenal, and that lifted everybody else around him. So sometimes you don't want to be a one or two club player, if you get where I'm coming from. I hope that made sense. What club do I hate the most? I don't hate many things in life, Peter, but what I will say is I've never received levels of abuse like I have from the Everton fans, mate. So I'll probably go for Everton just because some of the shit that was sent my way was disgusting. What have we got? What's your starting 11? I'll go through it in a sec, Jamie. No worries, mate. Where in Ireland am I from? Originally from Dublin, buddy. Now I live in Wexford. What have we got? Not gonna lie, mate, said KG. This Sunday's gonna be a tough one. I'm a United fan, you're a Liverpool fan. You guys are unbeaten in 3 years at home, we're unbeaten away. So yeah, he's gone for a 1-1. I can get you, man. It is a tough one. It's a pick 'em. It depends which United show up, which Liverpool show up, and I guess we won't know till Sunday, but that's part of the fun, isn't it? We've so much going on Sunday around the game, by the way. Our friends from Nothing But Reds, an American Liverpool supporters channel, they're going to come across, they're going to do our team announcement show, so they're going to be on from 3:15 on Sunday to 3:45. I'm going to come on then about 4 o'clock, do the watch along with the build up, and then we'll have a post-match show and a phone in as well afterwards, so loads of content coming out on Sunday. Ooh, nice one. Kevin Palmer just said Matip looks set to start on Sunday. Thank you for the update, Mr. Crosby. Have I ever been to Dundalk? Yeah, myself and my missus went up, mate. We went to the Greyhounds in Dundalk, and we stayed up there. And I wanted to go and see Dundalk playing. They were actually playing when we were up there, but the missus wasn't up for going to a football game. But yeah, I have been. And funnily enough, our sponsors, Boyle Sports, their offices are up in Dundalk, although we've yet to go up there because of, COVID. What do you think about Amad Diallo? Hand on heart, Marcus, I'm not the man to ask. I've no knowledge of the guy. I know United have signed him, but No knowledge of him, mate, whatsoever. Game would be amazing. Oh, Kate, by the way, I haven't forgotten about your message. Connor, Kate asked, could you post the Discord link in the members tab again, because Kate only became a member recently and she can't find the link. So I promised you, Kate, that I'd mention that to Connor, and reminding you just now because I seen your name come up. Did you see the pics of Matip in training? Yes, and it made me very, very happy. What part of Dublin are you from? Shankill, Tony. Shankill, mate. So you're from Dublin, you'll know where it is. It's the most south point of Dublin before you hit Wicklow. How do I find Goldberg? Seems like a top guy. He's a lovely fella, Leo. He's been always very good to me if I need advice or I need anything like that. He's always been frank and open, and he's been he's sound. He's a sound fella. He is an honest fella. That's what I would say about him. Am I into the GAA? Not really, mate. I'm a bit of a glory hunter, when I'll be honest with you. Like, if Dublin winning the All-Ireland again, I'll jump on board, give it a whole yay, particularly when I live in Wexford, do you know what I mean? Although half my estate's from Dublin. Craig, you should go on Thogden's channel. I've only started hearing, excuse my ignorance, because I'm not somebody who watches a whole lot of YouTube, but I don't know who Thogden is, but I've heard of it. I've heard Thogden and Thogdad. I've definitely heard both those, because I remember my wife or my son mentioned them to me before. Will Cade be back for the game? No, Ali, he's been ruled out by the gaffer. What have we got? I rate this channel. No crap, I'm a United fan. Keep up the good work. Love right back to you, buddy, in Jamaica. Really appreciate that. Craig, who's your favourite player from United? Obviously I rate Bruno. He's quality. I'd have to say Bruno. I'd have to. It would have been, if we hadn't got Alisson, we still had our old goalkeeper. If we still had Simon Mignolet, then I'd be probably saying De Gea. But if I had to take a player, I'd obviously take Bruno right now. You look tanned as fuck. I still have a bit of a winter tan, to be fair, mate, but I'm not that tanned. Is your son bald too? Sort of. Or actually, sort of. He does. I've got my son's autistic, so if you even attempt to go in on him, I don't. Yeah, he does have a shaved little red head, but he's also my little dude. So please do not say anything about my fucking child, mate, because he's gonna be the next wave of YouTube talent. Trust me, he's an amazing little dude. Evan said, Craig, Shaqiri needs to play. He's been on fire recently. Yes, he has, and I agree. Look, for a few fans that are coming in, maybe want some transfer news, I did reach out to some contacts that I have with regards to the stuff around the centre-back from Real Madrid, Militao, and the news that I've gotten about Militao is that Zinedine Zidane doesn't want to let the player go, but if Florentino Perez pushes the situation to try and free up funds or something like that, then, you know, begrudgingly, he would be available. Now, I don't think it's something that Real Madrid are actively pursuing to move Militao on, but from what I've been told, don't completely rule out maybe him going somewhere. Whether that's Liverpool or Spurs, I don't know. But it does look like he's certainly on the maybe available list. Rodrigo de Paul, a lot of people have been asking about as well. Again, like everybody else, I had seen in the summer that he was linked from Udinese to Leeds. Didn't happen. Now we see Liverpool linked with him. Again, Udinese are another club that are struggling financially because of the impact of COVID. And it seems to be that a figure of about 35 million euro would be enough to get Rodrigo de Paul out of his Udinese contract and off to whoever may want him. Again, from a Liverpool perspective, I would not imagine that like that, possibly till the summer. I think that's about it on the transfer news with regards to stuff that I can actually, you know, speak about with some certainty. Do I think Coutinho regrets leaving Liverpool? Yes, I honestly do. I can understand the South American like Felipe Coutinho seeing Barcelona as the peak, the pinnacle of his career. He probably grew up watching La Liga, seeing the amazing Barcelona teams of old, and always wanted to play there. For whatever reason, and I still think he wasn't playing in the right position at Barca, by the way, it hasn't as of yet worked out for him. A small part of me felt some semblance of sorrow for him, but I don't like the way the move came about. And look, I'm a hypocrite on this because of Liverpool have signed players who've kicked up fuss at other clubs before they've left, but you know, we're allowed to be a hypocrite as football fans. It's part of the fun, isn't it? Thoughts on Van de Beek? Yeah, Riley, from what I can gather, mate, and again, I'm not a United fan, so I'm just trying to work off what I can pick up from chats that I've had with other United fans, apart from Goldbridge. it seems to be that he's a quality player, but is it that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer doesn't want to play him because he's not his player, as in the club bought him and not him? Or is it because, like Klopp, maybe doesn't feel he's up to speed yet? It's not unusual for Liverpool to bring in players, Fabinho, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, Andy Robertson, and Klopp not to play them until he feels they're fully acclimatised to both the league, the country, the rigours of Premier League football. So I don't know if that's the case with Donny van de Beek, but he's certainly a quality footballer. I mean, he was linked very strongly with Real Madrid at one point as well. I just don't think they could come up with the money for him. What signing would I make? Again, it would depend on who leaves, but look, we need a centre back, and Ben White for me is the option I'd like to see Liverpool go with. What else we got? Craig, do you rate Ole Solskjaer? Now, mate, this is where United fans may hate me a little bit because I don't rate him at all. I think that United have progressed in spite of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I think when he's come up against the manager and it comes down to a tactical battle, so I think how United didn't progress in the Champions League, I think, is criminal from your point of view, from United's fan point of view. And the thing that really, again, highlighted to me was when you played in the semi-final of the League Cup against Manchester City at Old Trafford, United, to me, had the far better of the first 45 minutes. But I was intrigued to see what would happen at half-time. Pep made his changes and made the few tactical tweaks that allowed City to get a stranglehold on the game and them to beat you 2-0. So I don't rate Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, if I'm being honest. I don't know how he got the Manchester United job. I'm not saying that he won't win anything. I'm just giving my honest opinion. I don't rate him as a manager. I think I was really worried. If I'm being honest, I was shitting myself United were going to go and get Pochettino, because that would have really worried me. But look, any United fan who's going to come and defend their manager right now, look, you've every right to. I absolutely have no issues with that whatsoever. I just promise to always give you my honest opinion on stuff, which means you probably won't like some of it. But hey, look, I'll just try and be honest. Grey FM said, beat Pep not once, not twice, but 3 times. Again, mate, I'm not saying he didn't beat Pep. I'm just saying, from my view as an outsider, when I see him in the big moments, and we've lost 3-4 semi-finals, something like that, he just doesn't have the nous. But that only comes with experience, which he hasn't gotten yet. I mean, look, Cardiff and Molde. It's not really a CV that you would expect of a Manchester United manager. It's the same when we took Brendan Rodgers from Swansea. That was a huge gamble from Liverpool's perspective, particularly because we were in a rebuilding process. Sort of worked, but that led obviously to eventually getting Klopp, and Klopp was the person that brought us on. I'm not sitting here slagging Solskjaer. Asked the question, gave an answer. If you disagree, I respect your beliefs. Do I think Salah will score? I do, Keane, yes. I do think this is it. I think this is the game for him. What else we got? A manager that is top of the league, beat Pep 3 times, and you don't think he's a good manager. Maybe he isn't Ferguson, but he's doing a very good job. Again, I respect your opinion, mate, and that's your opinion, no problem whatsoever. I just don't rate him as a manager. That's my opinion. And look, you're right to have your say and say, Craig, you're talking shit. No problem. I accept that. How do we fit in Harvey Elliott? That's going to be an exciting proposition, Daniel. I mean, he's doing quite well at Blackburn, and I can't wait for him to come back and get a go at Liverpool. And I think this year is going to be invaluable from the Championship at Blackburn, and he certainly seems to be shown what he's capable of. So how do we fit him in? I don't know, but it's a nice headache to have. Thank you. My nan's got bunions, which sounds so weird every time I say it. How do you think Virgil will be when he comes back? Well, honestly, okay, because I think the man's barely human. He's a machine. Yeah, he's Verge, so I think he'll be okay. But like with any of these long-term injuries like that, you've got to be cautious when you're bringing a player back. It's not unusual to pick up a little secondary injury, like a muscle strain or something like that, when coming back from a long-term injury. So he'll have to be carefully managed. But we've got a great team for that. Peter Price, of course I'll give you a shout out, buddy. How are you, mate? And thank you for being in the chat. Trent's not up to the level he was last season. If Rashford's playing on the left, it will trouble him like before. I don't disagree with you. And look, teams tend to target our right hand side when they do come at Liverpool. Whether that's because of Trent or whether that's because there isn't the same maybe protection that maybe Mane would give Robbo on the other side afforded to Trent. That I suppose is open for debate, but I do understand where you're coming from, and it was interesting to see Rashford on the right hand side against Burnley and Martial on the left. Thank you, Zareen, very kind of you. How am I going to react when you hit 100k? I don't assume that we will hit 100k, mate. That's the honest answer. I'm not egotistical enough to believe that it's a formality that we'll hit 100k. We'll have to work our asses off and hope that people enjoy what we do. And if we do hit 100k and people do enjoy it, we'll celebrate with a huge giveaway like we've promised. I'll get that tattoo that I promised to get of my favourite trolling comment ever, and I'll be grateful. But, you know, I don't expect it to just happen. It has to happen with hard work. Gordon Silva said, thank you for being honest. There's also a big chance you'll only beat Liverpool, just like Liverpool chance to beat United. Mate, it's a pick-em game at this moment in time. It's a pick-em game, and I wish we were going into this game a while back. I'd have been a lot more confident, but where it is right now, it is going to be bum twitchy time on Sunday for sure. Van Dijk or Vidic? Van Dijk, but let me caveat that yes here by saying Nemanja Vidic was a quality defender, and I remember Liverpool being linked with him at the time United got him, and I was pretty fucking pissed off you guys got him, because I do rate, apart from the Torres stuff, who seemed to have Vidic on toast, Vidic, absolute quality centre back. Would I rather win 4-0 or a late 2-1? Oh, late 2-1, definitely a late 2-1. For this game, any other game I'd say give me a 4-0 stroll in the park, but there'd be something lovely about a late 2-1, mate. I won't lie to you. Scary Ninja said, I think by 2021 Craig will be at 100. I love that people keep saying Craig. It's so important to point out that it's Craig and Connor and you guys, because this isn't the Craig show, this isn't the Connor show, this is a community, this is all of us together, and I wouldn't be here streaming now if Connor hadn't spent hours setting this up again. So without Connor, none of this happens. Do I rate by? Yes. I didn't rate him when he was at Villarreal, if that makes sense. We played Villarreal in the Europa League a few years back before he went to United, and I didn't rate him then, but he's certainly come on, and he certainly looks a more steady partner for Harry Maguire than Victor Lindelof does. Do you think City have a chance of winning the title? Oh, absolutely, Jack. I mean, City are, in this conversation we're having as Liverpool and United fans, City are the forgotten team, because quite frankly most of us don't have too much respect, might not be the right word, but they're a pest rather than anything else. So yes, they definitely have a chance to win the title. Actually, the bookies have them as favourites. The bookies have them as 8 to 11 on, I think. And Connor said on all the regulars like Jack Gill, Steve Bland, the guys from Nothing But Reds, Leon. There's so many people involved with Anfield Agenda now as we're moving on. It's getting tougher to manage people as well, because it used to be just me and Connor, and now obviously we've got lots more people making lots more content. We've got the podcast that we started again this week, iTunes, on Spotify, Acast, just search Anfield Agenda. First ever podcast this week. We made it straight into the iTunes sports charts, and we were in their recommended podcast, which was great as well. So it's just been an amazing few months on a personal level for me. Yeah, and I'm very grateful for it all. I have a feeling, how are you going to feel when United smash you? I don't think that will happen. The smashing part, I'm not saying there's no chance of a victory, but the smashing part's not going to happen, mate. I don't see that happening at Anfield. The smashing part. Firmino or Jota? Both, because I think we can fit the front four in. Who's getting relegated? Sheffield United, unfortunately, because I think I can't believe what's going on there. I mean, surely it can't be just the loss of Dean Henderson that's done that to Sheffield United, because I don't understand what's going on there. So I think they'll go down. I hope Burnley go down, because they're a pain in the arse. I'm sick of the sight of them. I don't nothing against people from Burnley or the club. It's just nobody wants to go and play Burnley. It's always a tough old game. And after that, I don't know, I'd like Brighton to stay up, because I like the style of football that they play, and it usually plays into our hands when we play them as well. I don't know, after that it's going to be tough. What's my prediction for the game? I did tell somebody I'd do my starting 11 actually a while back, so I'll do that again. I've went for a 2-0 win for Liverpool, mate, but you can make an argument for a 1-1, you can make an argument for a 2-1. I don't think anybody will run away with the game. I think it's going to be a tetchy affair regardless. Right, so I did say I'd do my starting 11 for people that missed it. So it was Alisson, Trent at right back, Robbo at left back, Matip, Fabinho, and then I'm going for a 4-2-3-1. So Hendo and Thiago in the holding midfield roles. Then Shaqiri on the right, Bobby Firmino through the centre, and Sadio Mane, and that's the midfield trio with Salah as a lone striker. So that's what I would like to see. Craig's my favourite YouTuber. He's funny and respectful. I'm glad I subbed to you. Thank you, mate. Look, I have moments where I've said stupid shit and I regret it, but you know, I'll always try and hold my hands up if and when I get something wrong. Look, ladies and gents, this was meant to be just a little test stream, so I'm going to say my good nights, and I will chat to you wonderful people on Sunday before the game. I'm taking tomorrow off. There will be content going up on the channel. If you've enjoyed this little impromptu late night stream, then please do hit that subscribe button and drop a like on the video. To everybody, if I don't see you before Sunday, be well, be safe, look after your families, follow the recommended advice, and it's going to be a massive game, and you know, may the best team win. That's all I can say, but thank you for your time as always, folks.